Okay, so welcome everyone to Nourish Yoga with your yoga host today, Trey Kirkpatrick. We are going to start lying on our backs today, and if you did not see the message earlier, I invited each of us to come to our practice today with some kind of towel or a blanket. And so I just have a blanket here that I'm going to use, and I'll slide back so that you can see me a little better to start. And we're going to start lying on our backs with some support underneath our knees, which is why we have the blanket or towel. You could also use 2 blocks or a bolster if you have that. And I'm just going to place it here right underneath my knees, the fold of my knees. And then I'm going to come on down to my back, and I'm going to make any adjustments here that I need to so that I can just start to create a little place of safety and rest here. Now, if you're feeling any kind of discomfort in your low back, bring your knees higher, and that can alleviate any tension or pulling in your low back area. If you need to, then just go ahead and bend your knees and bring your feet to the ground if you don't have enough height to bring underneath your legs. And if you haven't done so already, take another moment to arrange your shoulders underneath you, to place your arms comfortably somewhere by your sides, or maybe your hands come to your belly. Now, perhaps you soften your gaze straight above you, or you let your eyes come to a full close. And as we come into the sacred circle of yoga together today, we will take this next moment just to be at one with our own bodies, our own breath. To feel that oneness within us, and to feel the connection of our oneness in this circle together. Let your awareness slowly begin to move down to the very base of your body, at the soles of your feet. Notice where the feet at the soles or the heels make contact with your mat. And allow the contact of your feet to the earth send a wave of release and ease up through the joints of your ankles, your knees, into your hips. Move your awareness from your hips up through your trunk into the backs of your shoulders, down through each of your arms and into each of your hands. And allow the weight of the shoulders and the arms to release more heavily down towards the earth. Waves of softness and release down through the muscles of your neck, your shoulders. Bring your awareness now back into the torso, through the breastbones, through the ribs, down into your low belly. Begin to feel the belly rise and fall with the inward and outward movement of your breath. Start to expand a little more with the inhaling breath, creating greater waves of sensation from the very inner lining of the belly and out through the middle of the ribs. Start to release a little emptier with the exhale, creating a little more toning through the belly muscles at the navel into the low belly. Each cycle that you breathe, get a little wider and fuller on the inhale, and see if you can release a little emptier with each exhale. Feel the texture of the inward and outward moving air. The ways that the air moves through the curves of the body, out through the corners of the torso of your hips. Generate a full enough and a deep enough breath that you feel a little vitality with the breath, that you start to feel a little movement of energy through the body as the breath moves in and out. The next time that you reach the top of your inhaling breath, pause with your breath held in for just a moment, and then gentle release out through the mouth. If they're not there already, bring your arms down by your sides with the palm side of your hands touching the floor. As you take the breath in, sweep your arms straight up towards the ceiling. Maybe they come all the way to your ears. As you exhale, pull the arms forward, draw your left leg in, knee bent, hug your thigh to belly with the exhale. Inhale, that leg comes back down, arms float up towards your head. Exhale, right leg comes in, knee bent, hug thigh to belly. Continue motioning arms and legs. You might keep the legs over the support as you move. You could do this movement also with your knees bent, feet returning to the mat. Continue this motion and this breath, feeling space grow between your hips and your shoulders. Maybe the breath starts to broaden by moving the body, by starting to bring more openness through your shoulders and your hips. The next time that you have your right leg in your hands, hold the right leg here. Turn your right foot into some circles. Circle back the other way. Release the motion of the circles. Bring your left leg flat to the ground or onto your support if your knee is bent with your foot to the mat. Press out through the heel of your left foot. And now everybody lift your left leg just over whatever it is resting on. Take 2 more breaths here. Bring that left leg down to the support or knee bent, foot to the mat. Inhale, right leg comes out, arms move up. Exhale, left leg comes in, stay here, hug your thigh to your belly. Turn your left foot into some circles, maybe 4 or 5 in one direction, a handful or so of circles in the opposite direction. Releasing the motion of those circles. Right leg is all the way down to the ground. If it's not there already, press out through your right heel. And now lift that right leg just to over whatever support it was on. Keep reaching out through the heel. Steadiness through the breath. Release that right leg down or knee bent, foot to the mat. Left leg also comes down, either knee bent or leg returning all the way down to the support, both arms by your side, and pause just to feel the reflection of that space to the back and the front of your hips. If your legs are straight, go ahead, bend your knees to take your feet onto whatever prop you might be using. So I just place my feet right on top of my blanket. Now I'm just going to use my feet to slide or push that prop off and away from my mat. And you will do the same in your practice space and come back to that point with your knees bent and the soles of your feet to the floor. Now, your head is going to be neutral with your gaze towards the ceiling. I have my head turned here and there so that I can look at you. So once you have your knees bent, feet to the ground, take your arms down by your sides again, palms to the floor. Nothing's going to leave the floor as we start this motion. Press your tailbone down towards the floor and feel a little more arch through the lumbar spine of your back. So I'm kind of showing you here in the video monitor where your back is going to arch up. Now draw your pubic bone towards your belly button, and you're going to feel that same part of your back flatten towards the floor. Again, nothing is lifting up and away from the mat except for that part of our spine. And then press tailbone down again. Feel the lumbar spine arch up away from the floor. And then draw pubic bone towards belly button to flatten out that part of your back. Continue that motion here. Now, only go within a range of movement that feels okay. If this is creating any pinching or discomfort in your low back anywhere or into the middle back, make your range of movement smaller, or simply come to a neutral pelvis and pause here for just a few breaths without moving. And if you're still rocking the pelvis, stay with me with this movement for just a few more breaths. Now come to a point where you're not moving your pelvis in either direction. Your pelvis is going to be nice and neutral. Hold the neutral pelvis. Bring your right knee bent up over your hip with your knee and your hip at a 90-degree angle. I'm demonstrating that for you here. And I'm actually going to move my arm so that you can see my leg a little better. Press out through your right heel so that you have a nice strong right leg. The key here is to not let your pelvis move. Inhale with your natural breath. As you start to exhale, get as empty as you can. Engage your deep abdominal muscles. As you do, keep that angle in the knee the same. Bring the back of your heel down towards the floor. Maybe you touch the floor. Inhale, bring that leg straight back up. It's a really small movement, family. Exhale, engage those abdominals deep down here. Keep that knee bent to 90. Take the back of the heel down to the floor completely and tap it or towards the floor. Again, we want to keep all movement in our pelvis away. That doesn't even, not a great sentence, but you get my point, right? No movement in the pelvis. No movement in that part of your back that we were just working with. Good, stay with me just a few more breaths, family. The next time that you pull the knee up, go ahead, grab hold of the back of your leg and draw that leg towards your torso. Two choices here. Left foot can stay to the floor with your knee bent. If you want to go into a deeper or more challenging variation of what we're doing next, take your left leg all the way down to the ground flat. Press out through both of your heels. All right, first part of the pose, we're all moving together. Lift your head up off of the floor. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Stay here. Or if you want something a little more challenging, lift that left leg just up off the floor. Everybody breathe into the shape of your body. Feel what's getting reflected and moved through the shape of your body. Stay here, 3 more breaths. Watch what changes. It's going to shift. Exhale, left leg down if it's lifted. Everybody head down. Bring the left foot back to the mat if your leg is straight. Everybody, right knee bent, foot to the mat. Pause here. Every breath moves energy through the body. Every breath moves us through the energetic experience. Every breath is slightly different than the last breath. How much can we feel it shift? All right, family, we're staying with right knee bent, foot to floor, left knee and hip to 90. Press out through the heel of your left foot. Again, pelvis is neutral. No movement through the spine or through the pelvis. Leg moves downward with the exhale. Engage those abdominal muscles. Take that leg forward towards the floor. Tap the back of the heel or bring the heel closer to the mat. Bring the leg back up. Move into the motion on the exhale, using the movement of the diaphragm, engagement of the belly muscles to help stabilize the sacrum and low back. Inward and outward flow of the breath, moving energy through the body. Follow the breath with the mind to move through the different qualities and the changing experiences. One more breath, family. Beautiful. The next time that leg comes up, grab behind the thigh, hug knee to belly, little relaxing stretch. Take a moment, see if you want to work with the same way on this shape. Either right knee stays bent or right foot, leg all the way down. Both heels are dorsiflex. Everyone lift the head and shoulders. If you're choosing to go into that second shape, lift your right leg just above the mat. If it feels safe for you to do so, close your eyes. Follow the movement of your breath. Notice how the breath takes us through all the varying experiences. The different sensations moving, shifting, growing stronger, dissolving away. Release the right leg. If it's lifted, everybody head down to the mat. Pause. Bring your left foot to the ground, right foot to the ground, both knees bent. Slide your arms out to T position, palms turned up towards the sky. Walk your feet wide apart from one another. Drop your knees together so that you feel a little elongation from your outer hips to your outer knees, right? So it's like you're knock-kneed here. Roll your face towards your right shoulder or arm. Keep the feet wide, bring both knees towards your right side. Now take your gaze towards your left arm, knees to the left side of your mat. Continue this little side to side motion, rotating head, little rotation through the pelvis. Make sure that you don't move in a way that creates any tension or strain through your low back, through your outer sacral edges. And then within the next motion or two motions, you're going to roll to either side completely. So you choose what side you roll to, left or right side, doesn't matter. Come into fetal position. From here, family, we're going to make a transition onto our bellies. I'm going to sit all the way up, though, to show you something. You don't have to sit all the way up. If when you come to the belly, you have any discomfort in your low back, you're going to grab that blanket or towel. Now, this is a little high if I fold too much. So I'm going to go a little wide here so I don't have so much height. But what you're going to do is you're going to have some kind of support, some kind of prop here, and you're going to place it right at that space between your navel and your hips. And what that'll do is that will reduce some of the extension that you have in your lumbar spine when you come to your belly. Yeah. Now, if this is not working for you, you could try to come just a little higher. Sometimes we need something a little higher. That would be too high for me, but I'll demonstrate for you, right? So again, like here between my navel and the tops of my hips. And so you can see what's gonna work best for you as far as height. You might not need anything. And then once you have that, just stack your hands and place your forehead on top. Make any adjustments with your legs that you might need to make with your legs. Sometimes they need to come a little closer together. Sometimes they feel better to move a little farther apart. And then bring your awareness to the front of your belly and take a moment just feeling the belly push and spread out against the mat as you breathe in. Maybe feel the echoes of that breath moving into the space at the back of your body, into your low ribs or into your low back. Now from here, go ahead and bend your left knee to about 90 degrees. Dorsiflex your foot and ankle as if you were pressing your heel upward towards the sky and pulling your toes down towards the mat. Now I have my head lifted so that my voice isn't mumbled when I'm talking to you, but you're going to keep your forehead down on your hands. Now, without creating a lot of tension in your buttocks, draw your pubic bone down towards the floor. Lift your left knee and thigh up off of the mat. Make sure that the hip stays down to the mat. Keep the knee bent, lower the thigh and the knee back down. And repeat that motion, drawing down through the pubic bone. Lift your knee and your thigh up. Keep the front of your hip anchored to the floor. One more breath here. And release that leg back down. Keep your knee bent. The last time, draw pubic bone down. Lift that knee and that thigh up. Notice what you're feeling activated through that left side. Bring your awareness now into your right leg and the back of your right hip into your right buttocks. Feel for any activation on that right leg and see if you can soften your right leg and engage a little more in your left leg, the one that's lifted. Take one more breath here. Release the left knee and thigh, straighten that knee. Let the foot come down to the floor and feel the change of the shape distill through the body. Notice any remnants from that shape. And let any remnants slowly reverberate and dissolve away. Bend your right knee to about 90 degrees, foot and ankle dorsiflexed. Again, we don't want to create a lot of tightness back through our buttocks muscles here. So use your abdominal muscles to draw the pubic bone slightly down towards the floor. Maintain that stability through the pelvis. Lift your right knee and thigh up. Keep the knee bent. Bring that knee and thigh back down. Notice what you felt release when you put the weight of your leg back on the mat. Feel the inward and outward flow of your breath. Lift your right knee and thigh up. Feel for any changes or shifting in the movement of your breath. Allow the breath to be soft within the engagement of the muscles. Release the leg down, but keep your knee bent. Lift that right knee and thigh up. Keep that hip anchored to the floor. Maintain the anchor of the breath. Feel for the sensations shifting and changing at the back of your right leg and thigh. Notice the subtle energy shifts in the in and out flow of your breath. Soften the left leg, soften into the experience. Release the right leg down. This time straighten the knee, let the foot come all the way down. And feel what moves out of that experience, what moves in from the experience. Bend both of your knees now. Your feet and ankles can just stay soft here, and let your feet dangle from side to side a few times. And that can release anything that might have started accumulating through the low back. The next time your feet are at the middle, go ahead, take your feet back down to the ground. You're going to keep your left hand underneath your forehead. Take your right arm straight up over the top edge of your mat with your right palm touching your floor or your carpet. Without tightening through the buttocks, draw the pubic bone slightly down towards the floor. This time your legs are going to stay straight. Reach back through the toes of your left foot. Keep the knee straight. Lift your left leg without lifting your left hip. Lift your right hand. Reach forward through your right fingers, back through your left toes. Head stays down to your hand. Deepen the inhales. Exhales. Widen the experience for 2 more breaths. When that's complete, bring that left leg and then back underneath your forehead. Notice the little shifting and subtle movements underneath the muscles, underneath the release of the shape. This time your right hand stays under forehead, left arm comes up over the top edge of your mat, palm down. Draw down through the pubic bone, but without clenching through the buttocks. Head stays forehead down on your right hand. Start to reach back through the toes of your right foot. Knee stays straight. Lift your right leg off the floor. Lift your left hand off the floor. Steadily reach back through your toes as if you were trying to touch a wall on the other side of the world. Reach forward through your left fingers as if you were reaching for something that's just within your grasp. Expand your experience by widening the breath. Feel into every corner of your body, into every curve of the experience. Keep watching, feeling for 2 more breaths. Exhale, leg down, hand down, both hands underneath your forehead. Release any places that might still be holding through the belly, the low back, the hips, or the knees. From here, we're going to make a short transition onto our hands and knees. Bring your palms back by your ribs. Very carefully come up off of your belly. Make a transition onto your hands and knees. Feel free to grab that padding that you had and place it either under your kneecaps for a greater cushion. You could go a little higher, place it under your shins so that your kneecaps are not making any contact with the floor, whatever might work for you. If being on hands and knees doesn't work, have a seat and do this movement seated. I'll demonstrate that in just a second. So we're just gonna move straight into some cat tuck and cat lift here. Extending through the spine, lifting tail, lifting heart. Rounding through the spine, pull the belly up, press down towards the floor. Good. Stay in table position with this motion if that's what you're working with. I'm going to change my position quickly to show you another option. Come to a simple seat. Hands to your knees, sit tall. Same motion, exhaling, pull the belly back, round through the spine, tuck your chin. Inhaling, lift through your sternum, extend your spine, lift through your heart. Take another few breaths, either with seated cat-cow or table cat-cow, using this motion to create more fluidity through the spine, to move air through the body, to move energy through the body. With your next motion, come either to a neutral seat or to a neutral table position. We're all going to make our way up to our feet. So from wherever you are, however you want to get there, please go there safely. If you're on hands and knees, now's a great time for down dog, if that's a practice that you love. Those of you that come with me from week to week, you know that that's your down dog space. Sometimes there's more than one space. We'll see what happens in the next 15 or so minutes. You can also just kind of roll up or come through a lunge, whatever feels good. I'm going to start making my way to my feet now, and we'll all rise together. And then once you come up to standing, if you have something that you use to lift the earth up for you, I have blocks today. So if you have blocks, you could grab blocks. You can use books. You don't have to use anything. I'll give options for people who have props and who don't. So once you come to your feet, bring your feet and legs about hip distance apart. Knees and toes are moving in the same direction as one another. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms facing forward, head neutral, chin parallel to the horizon. And let your awareness move all the way down to your feet. Feel where the feet are planted firmly to the earth. Notice if in that grounding there's any tension or rigidity, and if there is, soften around it. So maybe the toes soften. Bring your awareness from the soles of your feet all the way up into your knee joints. Let the knee joints be a little bent, not locked, so a little softness in the knee joints. Imagine lifting your kneecaps up to create a little more stability through the fronts of your thighs. And now imagine taking your tailbone down towards the floor between your heels to create a little more engagement through the backside of your hips and legs. Feel the body stable and grounded. Bring your awareness now up into your shoulders and your shoulder blades, and pull those parts of your arms down away from your ears, fingers reaching down towards the earth. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. On an inhale, start to take your arms out to each of your sides and up towards your ears. You can stop at whatever height that you choose. Bring your palms to unite somewhere, and then bring the thumbs straight to the mid of your sternum. Keep the knees soft and start to hinge at your pelvis. Come forward just about halfway, not much farther. Keep your head neutral. Draw just your right arm straight out to T position. Reach out through your right fingertips. Circle your right wrist. Circle back. Release the motion of your right wrist. Bring your hands back to Anjali Mudra. And now take your hands either to your legs or to your prop. So either your shins or something to place your hands on, like blocks or books. Now take one step back with your left foot so that you're in a scissored stance. Press down evenly through both feet, just like we did a moment ago when we were in that standing mountain position. Now take your right arm straight out to T position again. Reach out through your right fingertips. Stay here, or take your left arm out to T position and reach out through your fingertips. Take 2 more breaths here. Once those 2 breaths are complete, take one or both of your hands back to your blocks or to your right leg. Keep your legs scissored. Bring your outer hips. With a flat back, start to lift all the way upright. So you come standing, your legs are still scissored. Take your arms out to T position again. Start to shift your weight forward onto your right leg so that you come onto the tippy toes of your back foot. Stay here if this feels sufficient for you. If you want to work with a little more balance, keep your back long, breath steady. Start to hinge forward, lifting that left foot up away from the mat. Find a steadiness in your gaze, a steadiness in your breath. Bring the left toes back down to the mat if they're lifted. And now everybody back upright. I'm going through this as I talk. Arms down by your sides. Step your 2 feet side by side and pause, feeling the reflection of those shapes. How the shapes change from moment to moment, how the experience shifts from breath to breath. Press down evenly through both feet. Let the knees be soft, tailbone drawing down towards the earth, not tucking, but drawing down towards the earth, kneecaps lifting. Feel that spiral of movement through pelvis, knees, and thighs, creating that well of stability within. Draw shoulders and arms away from your ears, fingers reaching towards the mat. Inhale, arms float out and up as high as you choose. Palms unite, hands to the heart, Anjali Mudra. Maintaining that quality of softness in the joints, hinge at your pelvis, spine is long, breath is at ease. Take just your left arm out to T position. Circle your left wrist. Circle back. Release the circling of the wrist. Bring your 2 palms to touch once again, Anjali Mudra. Maintaining that firm connection to the earth and steadiness of the breath. Take your hands either to your legs or to your blocks. One large step back with your right foot. Ground evenly through both of your feet. Lengthen evenly back through your hips. Let the breath take you with openness through the shape of your body. Take your left arm out to T position. Reach out through your fingertips. You can stay here. You could also take your right arm out. Reach out through all 10 fingertips. Maybe the eyes close, all of the awareness inward. Watch what arises and falls, what grows strong, what dissolves away. Each breath shifting our energy, perhaps shifting our experience. Bring your hands back to blocks or to your leg. Take your hands to your hips. With a flat back, lift all the way upright, bringing your ribs back over your pelvis, scissored stance. Arms motion out to T position again. Start to shift your weight onto that left leg, toes of your right foot to the mat. Maybe this is where you pause and surrender into the experience. Maybe there's something else waiting. You start to hinge forward, the weight of your right toes moving away from the earth. Breath of the body moving the mind through the shifting and changing experience. Keep watching, keep noticing. Right toes back to the ground if they're lifted. Bring both feet to the mat. Gain balance and steadiness here. Legs come side by side, returning to a basic stance. Every moment and every breath aligning us to the spirit of our purpose. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up as high as you choose. Bring your palms to unite and thumbs to the heart. Maintaining the rooting through the feet, start to hinge at your pelvis. Come forward about halfway. Take your hands to your legs. Start to walk your hands down towards blocks, something closer to the floor itself. You could bend your knees rather deeply here. You can keep your legs straight for more of a hamstring stretch here. Let the weight of your head hang towards the floor. Nice, gentle, easy breath. From here, we're going to start to make our way back down to a seated position. However you want to safely get there, you could step back through a lunge and then bring your knee down. You could simply start to roll down, whatever mechanism and path that you want to use to safely come down to sit. Now, if you want some support for your low back here, grab like a blanket or a pillow, nothing as high as a block or a bolster quite yet. So support, but low support if you need it. Once you come down to the floor, get the support that you need, and then bring the soles of your feet to touch and your legs in the shape of a diamond. Now, if you want here, you could grab blocks and place those blocks underneath your thighs or your knees. Feel free to use that kind of support. And then let your hands rest palms down on your legs somewhere. Let your gaze cast forward or eyes close, and take a moment here to let the weight of your legs and your knees release into gravity. And bring your awareness to the flow of your breath. As you begin your next inhale, sweep your arms out to the sides and up towards your ears. Reach up through your fingers, up through your crown, and see if you can generate a little more elongation through your waist. Hold that length. Take your right hand back down to your right shin or your right knee. Rotate towards your left. Take that left hand to the ground or to the prop behind you, somewhere relatively close to your trunk so that you stay nice and upright. That you don't want to lean forward or lean backwards here. Turn your chin back over your left shoulder. Bring your awareness to the motion of your breath. Feel the textures of the breath moving through the left side of your trunk, through the right side of your trunk, through the left shoulder, the right shoulder. Next breath, slowly, carefully unwind. Return your left hand to your leg and sit tall. Notice any change to the motion or the texture of your breath. Next, inhale, arms float out to the sides, up towards your ears, elongate through your waist, get as tall as you can. Left hand to your left leg, rotate to the right side. Stay tall, tailbone to crown, hands somewhere close to your trunk. Keep weight evenly distributed underneath both hips. Gaze back over your right shoulder. Feel the motion of the breath through the right shoulder, the left shoulder, the right side of your ribs, the left side of your trunk, your right hip and your left hip. Next breath, slowly, carefully unwind and come forward, right hand to your left. Use your arms now to integrate that twisting by making little circles through your torso. You can generate bigger torso circles, bringing more motion up through your arms, through your shoulders. Take one more circle and then find a turnaround point. Start to motion the body back the opposite way. Every circle, every breath, integrating, opening, reflecting. Use this final circle to realign your pelvis and your ribs. If you want to change the shape of your legs, go ahead and grab any other support that you would want to sit on. So if you want to go ahead and come up on something higher, feel free to do that. I'm going to get a little closer for our final breath work and meditation. And so as you get yourself comfortable here, taking whatever you would like for support. And once you have what you need to give your body the greatest ease, let the backs of your hands now come to your legs with your palms facing up. Feel the balance of your ears evenly weighted over your shoulders. Allow the weight of the shoulders and the arms to release down towards the floor, the backs of the hands resting on the lap. Eyes soften forward towards the ground. Maybe they come to a full close. Bring your awareness to the sensation of your breath. And as you inhale for the next several rounds, bring your fine-tuned awareness to that motion. And feel how the motion doesn't simply move inward in one direction and outward in one direction, but there's this constant shifting and pausing and starting. What looks like a simple bi-directional movement is really something that is quite intricate. Feel how the body responds slightly different to each breath. Every breath, every moment unique to itself. This possibility of uniqueness offered to us only because of change. This magic is offered to us through the shifting of the breath, the energies of the seasons. Bring your palms to unite at the heart, Anjali Mudra, and let the head bow forward as a symbol of gratitude for the breath. As a way to honor the shape-shifting qualities of the universe and how those qualities offer us the opportunity of uniqueness and of a special kind of magic that would not be possible without the change. Take a slow, deep inhale through the nose. A gentle release through the mouth. Let us be open. Let us be safe. And let us be free. Om Shanti Jai Bhagwan.